Gentlemen, during Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta's time as the President of the Republic of Kenya, we used to have Dr. Fred Matiang'i serving the Interior Cabinet's ministry docket. Now, during William Ruto's time, we've had Kithure Kindiki serving as the Interior Cabinet Secretary. Now, these two gentlemen have been compared severally on the way they are working. And so far, according to William Ruto and according to the statistics that were given, Kithure Kindiki is topping as one of the most performing cabinet secretaries in his cabinet. Of course, before dissolution. In Matiang'i, of course, in Uhuru's time, also Matiang'i was rated as among the best performing cabinet secretaries during his time. On this video here today, I want to look at the achievements these people have made, or even the challenges they faced during their time, or the mistakes they made, and of course, from your comments, you're able to learn who performed better than the other. But before I dissect on that topic, if this is the first time you're watching our videos, make sure that you subscribe, like, and comment, because that's the best support you can always give this channel. Now, what happened during Matiang'i's time? I'm going to take similar scenarios from the two cabinet secretaries and then compare it and see how it has happened so far in William Ruto's time. Now, the first thing I want to quote here is the issue to do with the deaths. Now, during Matiang'i's time, we had demonstrations. During Uhuru's time, there were demonstrations called by Raila Amolo Odinga. Now, during William Ruto as well, there were demonstrations called by Raila Amolo Odinga and the Gen Zs as well. Now, there are two things that have been happening in these things. There's a common thing that has been happening in these two demonstrations that have been happening, both in Uhuru's regime and Ruto's regime. Deaths have been occurring. During Matiang'i's period, we used to have Kenjokoma guys being killed. We had youths being killed in Kisumu. We had Baby Pendo being killed. We had many Baby Mora actually being killed. We had various deaths occurring on innocent Kenyans during his time. Excessive use of police force. In fact, you used to have during Matiang'i's time, tear gas also being thrown to people's homes. So in general, he was treating Raila Amolo Odinga just like he was being treated in 2022 just after William Ruto had won. So during this time, he attacked Raila Amolo Odinga's supporters with great intensity. And we saw even police officers, particularly the GSU, going to homes beating like Baby Pendo, who died out of a hit, I think, from one of the police officers. So it is very clear that during the demonstrations during Matiang'i's time, there were deaths, maiming, injuries occurring during that time. Now let's look at Kindiki's time. The same thing is happening as well in Kindiki's time. During 2022, after 2022 presidential elections, we had, of course, protests happening. Police officers went to the streets and actually youths were killed in the country. Apart from that, we realized that police officers went to people's homes, just like during Matiang'i's time, and we had people dragged out, particularly the youths of Kisumu, hit in their head, some of them beaten, and actually brothers succumbed to injuries and died in the hospitals. So these are two similar cases that happened. Then therefore, up to that point, who is the problem in the Interior Cabinet Ministry? Is it the ministers, the police, or the Inspector General of Police, or generally entire to the president? Let's proceed to the next level. During Matiang'i's time, we had bodies being dumped at Rivayala, wrapped in gunias, actually sacks, dumped there. So many bodies were recovered, and actually we had a gentleman who came out to help in retrieving these bodies from Rivayala. People flocked in a mortuary in a place called Sega. They went to this mortuary to see what happened. Is it Sega or Yala, something of that kind? Actually Yala, to see their loved ones, whether they are there. Some of them recovered bodies of people who have disappeared from their homes. Some of them did not. And some bodies were not discovered. But the fact is, bodies were dumped at Rivayala. We asked questions at that time. Where were the police when this was happening? Who was dumping these people there? Why were they dumped there? Why could if they were criminals, why could they be taken to jail? If they were thieves who killed them, how could these thieves do the same thing now and then? And the police were present in this country. Come to Kithure Kindiki. During his time, despite that at that time the cabinet had been dissolved, just a day before, there were bodies that were discovered at Kware. There were so many bodies, and in this case, most of them were women. But now it was strange in the scenario that these bodies were cut into pieces. Some of them, of course, may their souls rest in peace, had their body parts completely chopped off, and they were disappearing. They were not there actually. They were not found. So it was a terrible way of person to die, but it happened. We had bodies dumped in a quarry, in a place called Kware, where it was a construction site. We used to have the Chinese people retrieving maybe sand from there during the construction of some road. So the bodies were retrieved there, and of course a young man still came out and took off that, went down to the place and retrieved the bodies for the police to take for investigation and further analysis of those bodies. So generally, the two things happened in both countries, and I mean in both regimes, and also in both, while the cabinet secretary of under Ruto's docket and Uhuru's docket present in office. I mean, we had Matiang'i during his Uhuru time, and also we had Kithure Kindiki, and in the two cases, with the two cabinet secretaries, the same things happened, just like they never changed, even if after Kenyans still lost their lives. Another thing that happened is this. Now, we had the issue to do with Rex Masai being shot in Nairobi. Also, we had a gentleman shot during the protest of Raila Amolo Odinga in Kisumu, a gentleman from Kisii here. He was shot as well. During Matiang'i's time, we had also gunshots. There's actually a student who died in Meru, was shot in a police, in a shamba actually by the police, according to the investigation, to the reports that people gave from the ground. And I've given the two cases, particularly the boy from Meru and also the boy from Maseno, because those were both students who were shot by the police. So these guys died out of some demonstration on one or two cases that were happening. Also, if it's an issue to do with youths, the Kenjakoma boys were also young men. Gen Zs by now, they could be Gen Zs. They died under Matiang'i's regime. And also, during Kithure Kindiki's time, they both died. Now, in this case, I've decided to make this analysis on one simple, due to one simple reason here. The aspect of Kithure Kindiki being in office. As he failed as a cabinet secretary in comparison to Matiang'i. He has always been compared several times. He has always been compared whether he has performed or not. And people asking, has he really failed? Or has he really performed better than Matiang'i? Let me leave the question to you guys and let me see in the comment section. But before I proceed on that now, let me take the issue to do with the Rift Valley. Matiang'i went to the ground in the Rift Valley. Kindiki as well went there. They all went to see the operation that is happening there. During Matiang'i's time, tough measures were made there to ensure tough words were used there to ensure at least we've seen those people who are conducting the banditry activities there stopping. But they never stopped. It still went on and on. Now, the burden was carried to Kithure Kindiki's time. But right now, as we speak, who has done the best as far as the banditry is concerned? Right now, the intervention by the government to ensure there are schools being put up there by the Kenyan KDF, I mean, it's really massive. It is a really positive thing. The declaration by the Kenyan government to establish a military camp there, it's really a positive thing. During Matiang'i's time, it was spoken that it was going to happen. But during this gentleman's time, that is Kithure Kindiki, it has happened. I mean, we have army putting up buildings there, and actually schools, repairing schools and ensuring that infrastructure is available. Because that is what the CDF, Major General Gola, was doing. I mean, moving around that place. It's the thing that resulted to his death, because he was moving around that place to inspect on how the police, the military are progressing on their job, ensuring that their schools and kids are going back to school. Despite they are not able to clear the banditry completely, we are seeing some serious thing happening in the North Rift, where banditry has been affecting the livelihood of people, even the living conditions of both children and the old generations. I mean, that is something we really don't want. This is a case we need some serious intervention, and we thank God that the President of the Republic of Kenya right now has decided to take the military intervention there to ensure at least we've gotten security in that region. Despite that, I want to say that it has not received the best. Still, we want to see more development projects now going there. It's not just roads, infrastructure, and other things that are needed there. We need Baringo, we need Elgeyo Marakwet, we need Turkana to be tourist attraction sites, to be investment attraction places, to be well equipped in terms of facilities and infrastructure to meet the needs of the people of that region, so that we can have people going there to work, people going there to go to school, having Turkana University, having Baringo University there, having even Elgeyo Marakwet University, so that we can have immense activities happening just like any other region in this country. That is my video there and there. And if this is the first time you're watching your videos once again, please make sure to subscribe. We have now expanded our content because we want to do more analysis on football, more analysis on politics, and more reactions on various activities and videos and scenes that are being recorded in the country right now, or even globally. My name is Abel Mukwa. See you next time for more videos.